said, come and follow me. I'm calling you, I want you to be a fisherman, to fish for those who are drowning in the scowling sea.
I think the thing that impacted me the most from being on the trip was the time that we spent at the medical clinic. There was probably about 400 to 500 people that came through the clinic that Doc was able to see, and we were able to prescribe some medication to. But another component of what happened when people came to the clinic was some of the national believers there were able to pray with them before we actually gave them the medication. The people that were praying for those coming through the clinic were very passionate and very open about sharing their faith. Many of the people that came through weren't believers. Some were Muslims, and they shared Christ with those people, along with the care that they got and the medication that they got. They also received the gospel.
So they know of the cross will you go.
We just we had an amazing time there, and I know that you know, there's a lot of things that I prayed about that didn't take place. The Lord said no. I wanted to have a couple key people on the construction team I thought I had to have, and it turned out they weren't able to make the trip, and I was like, boy, with a motley crew I got these guys, how am I going to do this? And the Lord said, you just watch and see, and we were able to do that building really in a record amount of time, and He gave us time to minister, and you know, the Lord just was so good.
I'm too afraid. I want you to be the one. Kingdoms come and give them all the truth and joy you've been given by the Son. When you go,
I wasn't prepared to see such poverty. So when I saw so many children seeking us out, you know, for things, for candy, or asking us for water, that truly touched my heart. You can see the joy in their smiles, and when I look back and I remember the verse, the joy of the Lord is our strength, that literally hits home when I think of them.
I want to hear you must stand and say it still. Be brave, my child, and do not fear, for it is my word you'll speak, and I promise I will keep you safe and sound within my will. I'm your strength when you're weak.
Well, first of all, it was the first time I've been on an airplane, and 17 hours is quite a haul. And it was a learning experience. The landscaping and the people are nice. It was really educational as far as how the people lived and whatnot.
People I met on this trip, I think are some relationships that I'll cherish for a lifetime, because it was just a fantastic group of people, both that went to Kenya and that I met in Kenya. So I think those relationships will certainly affect me for a while.
We were truly tested the first day that we got to the grounds. We were going to have our medical clinic, and when we arrived on site, we were told that we were not allowed to have our clinic until we got permission from the powers that be. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I said, God, I know you brought me here for a reason. You've shown me loud and clear that I am meant to be here. This is the right time, this is the right place. You see patients coming in, you see people coming in who are sick, who are in need of medical care, and we just have our hands tied and there's nothing we can do. Lots of questions at first, but then, you know, we marched around the site of the tabernacle and the medical site, and ministry site, and we just prayed, and God brought me to my knees when I went back to the medical tent, and I just prayed, and I cried, and I cried, and I prayed, and harder and more passionately than I've ever prayed in my entire life. And he showed me, this is not your job, this is my job, and when it's the right time, I will show you. And sure enough, we got an answer very quickly that we'd be able to start that clinic right after lunchtime. And it was an answer to prayer, but God really made me lean on him and depend on him for every step and every minute of the way.
You know, for me, I think it stretched my my faith. We were challenged and really attacked by the enemy multiple times before coming on this trip, and you know, there were certainly some episodes during the trip that you know, we could see the enemy at work. You know, and I think through prayer we were truly able to see multiple miracles happen, both before, in order for us to be on this trip, and then during the trip. And I think for me, that was one huge way of just God stretching me from a faith perspective. It's just making me rely on Him to get us through. So I think you know, physically, you know, it was an emotional time.
For me, I think my faith grew. There's a couple of challenges with the medical clinic, and just by interceding and praying, and a miracle where the door just totally opened up, it made me realize that you really can't put God in a box, because God can do some amazing things.
What do you think you took away from the trip, Ken?
Besides the sunburned lips, I think the best thing was watching everybody grow in faith, including myself. That's it.